Welcome to Tour Buds Live. I am your host, Andy, and I am with our beautiful co-host, Derek G. Hi, Derek.
What's happening, Andy? Tour Buds, the show to help up-and-coming musicians by talking to musicians and other music industry professionals. Andy, I think we got a fun one today, a little out of our normal zone, but I think we'll have lots to talk about, lot to learn today.
Today
How you
is
doing?
I equate today kind of like Beyonce's country album. You know, really, Beyonce is not a country star, I wouldn't say, right? However, she just won a Grammy for the best country album of the year. Really suspect. We should probably talk about that. However, that's kind of us right now. We're out of our waters, if you will, or so, and I love that. I love doing something out of the norm because country is not my wheelhouse, but I still think it's interesting, and I still think that it's great musicianship. And I know that Dennis is your buddy, so why don't you tell us about our guest today?
Yeah, so Dennis and I grew up together in the great town of Billerica, Massachusetts. We used to jam together, learn some Papa Roach songs together back in the day. Just great dude. Been playing bass for a long time. I'm very excited that he's here. Get to talk to him about what he's doing now, because he's on definitely the right track. So yeah, it'll be exciting.
I'm excited. Does he have any like dirt on you per se? Like, I want to know.
Probably.
I don't know. So I think you've kept me apart from the people that really know you for a reason.
All by design.
It's very true.
I'm sure he's got plenty of stuff from high school and middle school and all that fun stuff. So we'll see, because I've got some myself.
Yeah, I love that. Real quick, I want to shout out anyone who has supported us. It's still the beginning of this show. This is, I think, our 10th episode. Congratulations, Derek, for number 10.
We made it.
We made it to 10. That's really cool. And so anyone who's supporting us from the beginning, it's really cool because that's kind of when you see who your real friends are. And you see, you often see people,
fall out.
People that you think might support you, and they'll just glaze right through your fucking stories or never even give you a like. And that's okay. I want to shout out to them as well, because we don't do it for them, but we do it for just each other, Derek.
That's right.
And so it's kind of like we'll show them, but also shout out to like our ladies that really support us, and Aussie Alex, who was watching last night, and I admire him and appreciate his
great
sponsor in television. So he's fucking awesome. And Tom and all these people that have supported us from this get go. I think it's gonna be fucking cool to see how we grow and see who comes back to us saying like, hey, well, now can we have your platform?
We'll see what happens. We'll put a little thicker wall up for those people.
I will still let people, I'm a sucker, so I love people too much. I'll still.
That's why that's why everybody likes you, Andy.
I love you.
Love you too. Let's get on with it. Should we bring in Mr. Dennis Walsh from Dalton?
Give him like a proper talk up,
talk up. All right. So our guest today, Dennis Walsh, longtime friend, amazing bass player, Tom DeLonge lover, bassist of Dalton and the Sheriffs, tours around the country, loves his gear. He's got a channel, Denny Does Audio. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, I mean, there's so much here. I have a lot written down. Let's get into it, though. Dennis, welcome to Tour Buds Live.
Nice intro. Love the intro.
Yes, you look amazing. I love your setup, lighting as well.
Yeah. Been working on it. It took me a while to figure out which color, but I think the purple,
I think
for whatever reason, yeah,
it's very soothing. I want to kind of
royalty or something, right?
I want to nuzzle against
exactly. Right? Bass player royalty.
You see that? I'm nuzzling on you.
Yep. Other way, yeah. I'm mirrored.
You guys are adorable. What's up?
I love the Tom DeLonge.
I had to throw it in there. Yeah. I mean, you had like 37 Tom DeLonge guitars growing up.
Yeah, and now I have a new one.
Basses. Yeah, you still going?
I got one for my 40th birthday. It was like insane.
Hell yeah.
The most craziest surprise ever. I don't even play guitar. I don't even own a gun, let alone many,
Yeah, I'm sure you still play. You still play guitar a little bit. You have to.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever feud being like the rare bass players in the area?
Well,
like I am the bass player. No, I am, because both of you are actually bass players.
Yeah. Well, actually, when we were in high school, I did not play bass.
That's true.
And Derek played bass in much heavier bands that I was very afraid of being around the pits of. So we supported each other, but we never really like I would never say like we took each other's like spots or anything. It was like a completely different parallel path.
No. Yeah, we were kind of doing the same thing in different genres. And then we would get together sometimes and jam around. And I remember one time when we were, that's why I said Papa Roach. We were at your house and we spent hours like trying to remember
that. Yeah.
It's like one of the weird distinct memories that I have.
There's no way I knew how to play that riff like cleanly.
No, neither did I. Yeah. But we tried like hell. But,
Yeah.
That's how you get better.
Yep.
And
so were you always a country dude though? The whole time?
Not really, no. I mean, when we were in high school, it was Blink and like Sum 41, Newfound Glory, that was like my thing.
So you were in like pop punk bands.
Yeah, and like emo. I didn't really get too much into like metal. Maybe some of the hardcore stuff that was like melodic. It's like, I don't know. I was just more of you mentioned Tom at the beginning of this. Tom's my, I don't know if he's like guitar idol, but like Tom is like why I started to play guitar, and I always like he's my dude. So no matter how weird he is with aliens, but I'm so glad to see them back together.
With a little alien talk.
Yeah,
love it. I love it.
But yeah. And then country came later on it, because like honestly, country didn't really hit in Boston for a while, in our lives growing up. Like there was like the true '90s country, but none of this like pop country. There were no country bands for like a long time.
Yeah, not at all.
Are we upset about Beyonce right now, or is the country community up in arms right now?
I'm not. I mean, if you're good at like. I don't know. I don't know if Taylor Swift actually said this, but the whole like the trash takes itself out. Like if you're not good, people will eventually be onto that. Like I think she actually did that record well. I think she said something about genres handcuffing people. I mean, I know Post has been in country bands, but like Post Malone pops around genres and it's fine. I think if you're good at what you do, it is what it is. And then the fact that she won Album of the Year, I think is different. Like, it's not like she won Country Artist of the Year. Right. That might be a little different because people, have multiple country albums and are, touring with other country artists. But I don't know. I didn't get too upset about it. I saw a bunch of people did, though. So I guess it's kind of up to
it was
definitely
own opinion, a hot topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel that. I mean, I could see why country people are a little butthurt about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously Beyonce is talented. I don't think there's much debate in that.
There's definitely back end like politics that you can get mad about for sure.
Yeah. But but that's pretty standard, I think, for Grammys and the way that world works.
Yeah.
What do you feel about awards? Are you into them? Like, or do they mean anything to you? Would you eventually like to win a Grammy, or does it even matter?
I mean, the fact I'm thinking about would I want to win a Grammy, I don't know. I think that like awards are great, but I don't think that they are the like. The determining factor if you're good or not, obviously. I mean, it's just like we have awards locally here. There's politics behind them. There's some good bands that win them. It kind of differs every year. Like, I think that if you can continue keep doing what you do successfully, and like people are still coming, like that is better than winning like the 2025 Artist of the Year. Like, you know what I mean? Like to me,
right.
So
I agree.
Well, for sure.
If you have like a single or an album, I guess that is like, I guess to answer your question, I guess it depends what the award is. If it's like album of the year, then yeah, that's like, okay,
Right.
we made this album and every song on it was deemed good and it did well and like whatever. That's like, okay, whatever. But like the artist of the year is like, that to me gets a little more gray
Popularity.
area. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've had you put some thought into this. So
No,
no,
that's the first time I've actually been ever asked that question. So
I feel like that's all I'm hearing about the last like day or so.
mhm.
3 days, I guess.
Hot topic.
It's a hot topic, and
Mhm.
it's appropriate for this episode.
Yeah.
So thank you for entertaining that thought, because I think it's also quite ridiculous. I don't care if I win any kind of award personally. My thing is like, if you could be just successful in the if you could support yourself, that's just the ultimate success
That's
in
what I'm
any
saying.
kind of art. There's just like, for me, it's just like I think having gone through it, Derek, I'm sure you could relate, obviously, and agree with me. Just having done it, knowing how hard it is to have to grind forever. You have to have this consistency. You have to eat shit, and then to be able to get to a point where you could actually survive just on music is, I think it's the biggest form of success.
Yeah,
Better than
100%.
Yeah.
There's so many successes in doing it, right? Touring, playing in front of big crowds and things like that. I mean, you guys, Dalton and the Sheriffs, have played in front of lots of really big crowds. Unbelievable stuff in Boston, I know, and you guys seem to be able to build fan bases in cities relatively quickly. A couple trips, it seems like, and you guys have packed out rooms. And
Yeah.
what do you what? I mean, I've seen you guys play. It's an incredible show. Scully is like just top tier frontman, which obviously helps. The music is incredible. What to you guys, and to you, like what do you think it is? Like, what does it feel like to you?
Yeah, so it's different than any band I've been in the sense that like our shows become a place to like hang out and like meet people and like be in that room versus like, oh my god, this band is so good. Like this is you have to see how good this band sounds, whatever. It's more like you had to be there kind of thing. There's just so many people that come out and bring people for the first time that like we've seen people be like, oh, like my friend told me to come to this show. I've never heard of this band and now I'm here and you guys are awesome. And so to me, it's like there's something like Scully's really good at going into a room and getting people to come back to that room the next time he plays it. And I think that like that's just kind of snowballed into all the shows we play, whether it's a small bar or a arena like the pavilion like we do in Boston. So I don't know exactly what it is. I mean, we have a great time on stage. Our friends and fans, are great, and it's just they just keep coming back and bringing new people, and it's like it's a FOMO thing.
For sure.
And I wish I knew like statistically why that happens, but it is.
Yeah, it is definitely like a fun party atmosphere. I've seen when I came to see you in New York, you guys are playing at that the Irish bar.
Ulysses.
Yeah, now you guys are like you guys are selling out the Racket in a month or so.
We are we're playing a Racket, love Racket. I don't know if you ever if you've been there.
I haven't, but I plan on coming out
Yeah.
in April. It's like April
Hit me up.
12th.
We got you.
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And we played there before. And kind of built it through that Ulysses bar. They've been awesome to us too. So we kind of I think one of the things that we've been good at is adapting. Like we've played a bar like that and then the next day played at like the House of Blues. And those are two, like to people that go to those shows, like those are two very different things as far as like gear goes and volumes go and the way you play. And so we all have like 10 different, not 10, but different rigs that we bring depending on the show we play. And I think that a lot of that just makes it so that whatever room we're in, it works. We're never like too big or small for a room.
Right.
And I think that kind of goes a long way.
do you guys now, like, are you even able to play at Ulysses as a full band anymore? Like,
we
did you just got people lined up all around the block?
I don't know if it's that.
It's not a huge. I mean, it's a big room, but it's not a.
Yeah,
it's not
we love it.
Thousands of people.
The staff there too is amazing.
Yeah.
And they kind of let us do what we want. We've kind of done it all there as far as like Scully's played solo. Right. We did this trio thing with the trio thing with the 2 guitar players. And then I played, when we didn't have a drummer at one point, I played the kick drum because I was like, I need to do something, and I'm not going to play bass by myself without a kick, drum. And then we've done the whole band. So I think that, and we sell them kind of all differently, and they've all kind of worked and all help then, I guess, play racket. That's kind of the formula that we do.
Right.
And that way it's not so taxing as far as we're always in there, volume 10, where it's just like we're changing it up every time. You kind of see a different version of us.
Right.
And I think that's kept it fresh. Yeah, keep it fresh.
Yeah. Is there anything like the country equivalent to a mosh pit? Is there any like, all right, this is the part
that's
where
a great question.
Rowdy. And what would that even look like?
I don't know. I off the top of my head, it's
this is the part where people go.
Yeah, I think there's like too much beer going on in the crowd at the country shows to like safely dance without it a mess. Yeah. I don't know if
Beer's
there's a country
in the air.
equivalent. Yeah, Scully does do this thing where he, in the middle of songs, will go through the crowd singing and get a bucket of beer and bring it back to the band. Yeah. And we lose him at some point, and we're just like filling time. And I guess maybe that's because everyone like parts the ways, It's not exactly a circle pit, but it turns into something like that.
That's cool because like Derek and I in previous episodes were talking about how kind of the rock star is dead, things have changed, but it sounds like it's very much alive in country.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, roll mentality and attitude.
Well, that's the thing with country now is it's like me and the band guys, like we love 90s country, but I mean country now is like huge drums and like big guitars, and it brings that rock. I mean, there's a lot of emo drummers and rock drummers that have gone to country bands, and they're just wailing away just like they used to, just over country beats. So I think it's kind of changed to the fact that it's not like you have to pick one anymore. It's more of like what the songs are about, I think, that kind of makes things country or not these days. But you get all those elements.
Can I tell you what would be my country pit call?
Let's hear it.
All right, front to back, side to side, motherfuckers. All right, on the count of 3, you're gonna do-si-do the shit out of this motherfucker. 1, 2, 3.
There you go,
bitch.
There you go. Got a little bring square, make square dancing great again.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let's do that.
That's awesome. So when you guys travel, to New York, and I know you guys play Chicago a lot, or Detroit. Yeah, Chicago, right?
Yep.
You've moved into like the DC area a bunch. What are we traveling in? Who comes with? What kind of like crew do you guys roll with when you're doing full band shows like that?
Yeah, so we have the biggest RV that you can get that you can drive yourself. So it's like tour bus kind of thing on the inside with bunks and a full master in the back and bathrooms and kitchen and then but it looks like the Cousin Eddie from National Lampoon RV. So we have that, and we pull the trailer, and it's mostly the band, and we have a manager and some merch guys and girls that hop in with us sometimes. But and then on the big shows we have a little more of a crew. Like when we play like the biggest shows we play, we'll bring in our guitar tech, Franklin, who's the absolute man. Franklin Silpas. He also techs for Yellow Card, Bayside, a bunch of bands, All American Rejects. He's done. So when he has a second, he helps us out, and he's awesome. He's those gigs will show up, and my stuff's already set up, and it's just like we don't get it all the time, but when we do, it's like I deserve it.
Different level.
Yeah. So,
and how'd you get him? He's a friend of a band?
Friend of a friend,
or?
Yeah. He's local, friend of a friend. He just came out. The weird thing with like guitar techs, I didn't realize their like culture. I always thought that like all right, hey, you're going to be our guitar tech. Like, you have to come to 20 practices and like, you're going to learn exactly what I do. And, and it's like, no, sometimes they just show up and work for bands they've never met before.
Mhm.
And he did that for us. And the first time was like amazing. Just restrung all the guitars immediately. We writing the set down, tuning, running guitars out to us like he's been with us for 20 years. And I was like blown away by that. I was like, you're a true pro. So he's a good dude. Yeah, look him up on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah,
He's
that's
got
amazing.
good stories with way better bands than us.
Yeah, that was like the first time I saw like a real guitar tech. Is one
Mhm.
time we played with the band Atreyu, and a band was opening for them who was just kind of like a local whatever, and the kid snapped his string, and the guy not even working with them, didn't even set up
Yep.
their stuff, just like, ran on, grabbed
Yep.
his thing, strung his guitar in about 22 seconds,
Mhm.
had it all tuned up, and gave it back, and it was like, okay,
It's so helpful.
This is a whole different
because like
game here.
You chose the wrong genre.
well, and I always try to like explain it to people. It's really hard to do it without it like sounding like a humble brag, but like it's like when you play a really big stage, any typical issue that happens is multiplied by like or magnified by like 20. So if you break a string, your strings are now like 50 feet away from you. You know what I mean? It's like not like right behind you, and
You
like
can't just grab your guitar behind you.
and the
extra.
cables that are running to your amps are like really long, and like so one of those, so it is so just it's awesome to have him around. So
That's great.
when he gets back from tour,
you bring any like masseuse, people who cut your hair, fluffers, or anything like that?
I mean, besides like our wives and girlfriends, no, which they are. Well, one of them is a
Masseuse?
hairstylist, and so
nice.
no, we're not nothing like that yet. We all wake up with our bad backs and terrible bedhead. and hit the stage.
What's a rider look like for you guys? A band of your stature.
Oh, it's so simple. It's just like light beer, Doritos. I think that's it.
No way.
we're like very self-sufficient. I mean, we're like one of those bands that it's like when you're like, what do you want in your rider? We're like, what do you mean? Like we've roughed it for so long that like literally anything makes us happy. But honestly, it's like, give us some. So honestly, it's probably like light beer. We're a big Jack and Diet band through
Love
our
it.
friend, so we usually get a bottle of Jack and Diet, and then like some stupid junk food, and then like sometimes we'll even buy pizza. So it's we're not.
Wow.
We're not.
They don't even feed you, Den?
Well, no, I mean they do, but like sometimes we like pizza. Who doesn't like pizza?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But
That's when you just ask for the cash.
I know.
That was basically our rider: light beer and a bottle of Jack Daniels, and
There you
like
go.
$5 a member for food.
You could all get
Subway
Taco
and shit.
Yeah. Brutal.
Do the wives and girlfriends come with you all the time, or is that
They
just
they
when
do,
can?
yeah. So there's a lot of in the Dalton like band family. There's many kids, so there's some of wives and girlfriends have kids, so it's not in every. Obviously, people are holding it down back at home,
Right.
but yeah, there are like we did. That's one thing we get to do is everyone's like all the wives and girlfriends are friends. They hang out. We stole the term wags, which is wives and girlfriends, from the
Yep.
Bruins.
Yep.
That's like what they refer. So anyway, so we they're all friends. They hang out. So it's like we'll go to a city and we'll be doing like sound checks, and they'll just do their own day, and then they'll show up. Sometimes we're drunker, sometimes they're drunker, and it's fun. But the kids come too sometimes, and they come on stage, and that's always awesome having the kids around.
Yeah.
So, yep.
That's great. I always see Scully's bringing his son out,
Yeah,
and
Scully's
he's starting to
son
play now.
plays, yes, and he's good, very good. He
Yeah,
opens
that's
our shows a
incredible.
lot.
And then you bring your niece out sometimes. I see, who you used to do
Yes.
videos with.
Yes, she. So
Are we bringing that series back, or what are we doing?
I
feel like that was a hit.
I really wish I. She's like she's 12 now.
Yeah, so now she's
So
self-conscious.
she's kind of lost the cute little girl singing.
Yeah.
But she does come out and sing with us. But we set the bar really high. The first time she ever did it was at like the House of Blues. So now she's like, if it's another venue, she's like, oh, I don't really know that venue. And I'm like, her name's Danielle. Danielle, you did the biggest venue. Like, but it also goes to one of the things I also tell people, which also kind of comes off as a humble brag, is like, and it's not, I really mean this. It's like when you play for a lot of people, I feel like I'm not scared at all.
Right.
But if I played for 12 people, oh my God, I'm like terrified. Everyone, you can see them looking at you. And I think that she felt that when we played at the House of Blues, and it's just like all heads. And then we played there's a place that we play down on the water in Boston, and it was very spread out, and like a lot of like families like taking pictures, and she sang there, and people were far away from her. And I think she got a little self-conscious, like it wasn't a rock show.
Right.
And
You
so I'm
can
working
see
her back
everybody's
in.
reaction.
Yeah, yeah. And I told her, I'm like, that's a totally true thing, is when you can see the people looking at you, like front to back, it's like, it's a little scary. Yeah.
What's your
Well,
mechanism to maintain that energy, even if it's 4, 12, whatever, way less people than normal?
It's a good question. Yeah. It's, I mean, not that those shows are ever bad. It's just like, it's from a musician standpoint, it's like, when you can actually make eye contact and like someone's, it's kind of weird. So I don't want to like say that those shows aren't good, but like I
You still
think
have
that
to go to rock.
yeah, and I think one of the things is like, at least in this band, like we kind of like take it as an advantage to just like, or an opportunity to just play better, and like we'll look around and like, and I think in a way it like we'll like try new things and like try to make each other laugh and like just play like. Just like visually show that we're playing the best we can and we're having fun, and I think that kind of takes the edge off a little bit.
Mhm.
yeah.
But hey, I mean, all it takes is one person to see your band, so literally every show is just as important.
Agreed.
Yes, that's very important to
Mhm.
tell everybody. Listen to that. One person's enough to make you famous.
Well, I saw it happen. I mean, one of my previous bands, we played literally our first show and signed a publishing deal, and there wasn't a lot of people there, but that guy was there, and so
Awesome. I love hearing that.
didn't go well, but you know,
The
the band,
you
I
got
mean,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That happens.
But-
That happens. What that was with what band was that? Is that Landon?
That was with a band called Empire Street. That was
Okay.
I don't know if you knew about that, but those guys are killing it, by the way. In another band, not that
It
against
does.
those guys.
It rings a bell. I'm
Yeah.
sure I've seen some posts at some point. But
Those guys are like touring with Tesla, and like they're a little more classic rock now. But
Okay.
so
well, good for them. Good work,
Yeah.
boys.
Mhm.
So what is kind of your, I guess, so just for people who don't know, this band is kind of like hybrid style, like a lot of originals, but you do play a lot of covers as well. Maybe not as much as when I saw you guys. Not really sure, and doesn't follow the traditional band path, I feel like. Obviously working really, really well, and you guys are kind of paving your own path. What is that like? Like, what's the difference? Because you've done kind of both scenarios. What what are the advantages, do you think, or like, or both really disadvantages of having that sort of balance?
the difference between like having like the hybrid band, you mean?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what kind of advantages does that bring that maybe doing the traditional grind it out? Mentality.
When you say hybrid, do you mean the covers? Is that
Yeah, like
okay.
covers and originals,
Yeah.
and like you're kind of looked at more as like an original band.
Yeah. Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I mean it allows it makes us play a lot longer every night. I guess that's one thing, but it allows us to have more of a show versus like a 40-minute set. So just by default, I mean a lot of the shows that we play are our shows. Like we have been openers on tours, and we cut back the covers. Then when we do stuff like that, where like 45 minutes, hour, we might play like one short stint of a cover, but there we're like pushing Dalton. And when we do the other stuff, it's like we're pushing the Dalton show. So we'll do our stuff. And I think it kind of stemmed from like this one more song chance, like forever, like before I even joined the band, that the band would just play more covers. And I think that we kind of make a night out of it now. It's kind of known that we play long sets and people don't mind. So we we fill it with as many songs as we can, and we try to learn new covers. And there's some people that we just started playing weddings, like of friends. Like people would always ask us to play weddings, and we were like, oh, we're not really a wedding band. We're just gonna go in there and crank our guitars, and your grandparents are not gonna be happy with this. And so but there are people that actually do want the Dalton show, I'm calling it, like at their wedding, where we do play like half our songs and half typical cover songs. So it allows us to like learn new songs like that too. And we kind of base the show around that. But again, we can adapt to just doing our show too when we have to. But
yeah, no, that's cool, and it kind of lends towards the party atmosphere that you were kind of touching on earlier, with the college crowds and things like that. Is that's kind of your typical?
Yeah, like it would be one thing if we were playing half covers in like a 40-minute set. Like that's not what we want to be doing. But like some of our sets like push 3 hours. So it's like the Zach Brown deal. You know what I mean? So like if you go see Zach Brown at Fenway, I mean, he'll play like 10 covers.
Like going to a baseball game.
Yeah. with no pitch clock. Yeah. Totally. So that's kind of the model, I guess.
People go to see you guys to have a good time, for the energy, and to get drunk.
That's
beautiful.
I think you nailed it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun. It is a fun time, Andy. You got to come with me.
We should go.
Anytime you guys want to go, I got you.
Yeah, we'll go hang out.
I've never been to a country show once, not even once in my life.
It's a good time. It's like it's a country show, but it's it is a very rock and roll type show.
I think we blend the lines
I did hear a lot of you guys have a lot of energy with your,
which is weird because we're all like old, and but I was gonna say like because but because of that, like we do kind of like we are kind of on the line of like 90s like throwbacks. Like one of my favorite songs that we play as a cover is like The Wallflowers, and people love it. So like we're not covering like new songs.
Right.
Like that's just not us. Like we can't go up there and do like Morgan Wallen stuff. It's just like it doesn't really fit what we look like and what we sound like. But we'll a lot of times take a song and kind of make it ours. So we'll add like heavier guitars and like more energetic drums.
Give a mix to it.
Yeah.
That's great.
What's the band dynamic like in that vehicle? Like I know you guys have your family and stuff, but do you guys get to hang out as friends? Are you guys like friends?
Yeah. So the band now is so Scully, it's been his band for 15 years coming up. I mean, he's kind of singer-songwritered it from the beginning, got a big following. He kind of started off doing like, it was called Country Sundays at a Southie bar, and that just kind of launched everything. And then, there's been band members in the past, and then right before 2020, I joined, and then it kind of morphed into now the band is all people who have played together and we've been friends. So like Jay from Landon's in there, and we brought Joey in and our buddy Dan. So we have, and then we have Bryce as our sound guy. Actually, I meant to mention him when you asked me that earlier. We don't go anywhere without him. Bryce is an unbelievable sound guy, and Scully, and it's very fun. It's a lot of jokes about each other. We don't really play like pranks on each other. It's not like that crazy, but not like Blink, but like we all have our own little bunks, and we just kind of have a routine. We meet in this parking lot, and we go, and then that's it. But
do you have, if this is TMI, that's fine. Just let me know, and I'll fuck off. But if you're on tour, you're away for a while, whatever. One of your wives, one of your girlfriends gets there, you're gonna need some alone time. Do you go hang out with your ladies elsewhere, or do you say, boys, I need the bus for a little bit?
We'll usually go out, whether it's alone time or together. We do. There is a like we just did out in San Diego, and we kind of did that. We kind of the whole day disappeared and all met, back at the venue. So we're at that level where if we're in a city, it's totally cool that I don't see you until I'm on stage or at
Right.
sound check at least. But we also are a band that will hang out all day. So it kind of depends where we are and who's there and what there is to do and like what breweries are there. That's kind of,
At the social spots.
Yeah.
All the breweries you guys know.
Yeah. But
In the van, when you guys are traveling around, who is the messiest, worst band traveler?
it's probably me.
There is.
I'm probably gonna be the one that is the answer to all these questions.
Oh, I will say that is not the answer to this question. That I've from the birdie that told me.
Who's the messiest?
I was told that you were very organized in the van.
Okay.
Maybe to the point of where you labeled every switch in the new RV with the
That-
label maker.
That was for power and well, the switches all look the same, so I couldn't find them. But also there were very important things. We had a PlayStation in there, and if you killed the generator when the PlayStation was on, the hard drive would need to be repaired, and then I can't play PlayStation. So, there's a thing there.
Fair.
So, but
Very fair.
I have a former boss of mine told me that one of my like biggest compliments and like backhanded compliments was, it's like when you want to do something and you like are really into something, like you're the best at it. So like as far as like organizing things, like my racks and my like audio cables are like labeled and they're perfect. My laundry is like flowing out of my closet. So I am not, when you said who's the messiest, I like, as far as like labeling things and making the electronics work, I've tidied that up very nice.
Okay.
But I find some sweatshirts under the bed and stuff every now and then. And I always
fair.
spill something. So
Is that why we don't allow beers on the cabs?
Yes. Oh,
Because
but the
of
rest,
you? Or is
no, well,
other
because
people?
of Jay. But the rest of that quote, which, sorry, I forgot, is very important. She was like, when you don't want to do something, you're the literal worst at it. And like, you show that you don't want to do it. That was an important part of that. And I think that like, to answer your question, yes, I clean up the things that I want to clean up.
Fair. That makes perfect sense. I'm
That was a
very
long-winded
similar.
way of
Yeah,
getting to that. Yeah, sorry.
absolutely. Yeah. My desk at work is very clean.
Yep.
I've got a pile of clothes all over the floor. I do
Yep.
know where every piece of clothing is on the floor, but they're on the floor.
But yeah,
That's great.
my like superpower that Jay says is I can fall asleep anytime, anywhere. Like there's been times where I've like been sleeping before we left the venue parking lot, and Jay can't sleep
He
anywhere.
did tell me that.
Oh, he did.
I did get word of your sleeping habits.
Jeez,
He said
you're
you left him
talking
in a
to lot of
cab.
people here.
I mean, I got to do my research here.
I like
He
that.
said you guys hopped in a cab after a night out, and you left him with a 45-minute ride talking to the Uber driver while you were snoring away. You probably don't remember because you were
Well, I
sleeping.
know I
but
do remember because that actually ended in a really funny ending, where that was in DC. Me and Jay went out and we Ubered back home, and we got to our hotel, and it was a complex of hotels, and we got there at like 2 a.m. And Joey, we were sharing a room with, so we come up to the room, and I don't know if Jay didn't have the key. So Jay's just wailing on this door at 2 a.m. and we realized we weren't in the right hotel. And yeah, we exited pretty quickly. So I did wake up after we got there. Jay,
did somebody come to the door, or you
No,
just
thank
got lucky
God.
and picked an empty room?
No, yeah, that could have been it, dude.
That's incredible.
We like giggled away like idiots.
But let me see. I got a couple more little tidbits here. I don't know what this person's name is, but his Instagram is AD Quinn.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
I do.
Asked me to ask you about, after your first New York City show, staying out extremely, extremely late.
Yep.
Is there a story there? That's kind of where he left it. So I'm assuming there's some kind of a story.
Oh yeah, all these
Or
stories are
he
gonna
just
have a terrible theme. Yeah, me and Quinn went out, and like thing I don't like, New York, you guys stay out open too late.
it's insane.
It's like no one needs to be out at 4 a.m. But you know who was? Me and Quinn.
Mhm.
And so we got, which it didn't feel like 4 a.m. for some reason, but we got back to the hotel and there was just like this older couple like leaving to do their things for the day. And I think that's the story he wants to go with here.
That's
But
the
yeah,
best.
it was tough.
Going to bed when people are like getting up and going to work is one of the more fun. You had a good
Yeah.
night when that happens, where the birds are chirping and
Yep.
everybody's
lose
all
the birds.
nice,
Yep.
and you're like crawling into the hotel. That's
Most
good
of these
time.
days are very much behind me. By the way, I can not hang out like that anymore.
Yeah, well, we're 40 now, Dennis.
Exactly.
No, neither can we. I'm
Nope.
surprised you're still kicking on stage. Me and Andy get tired watching bands at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we always sit down. We find a seat at a show usually.
There you go.
Got to have a place to rest.
Yeah,
What
it's-
else here? Oh, the other one from Jay was just that you change your gear like every other day and claim that your new rig is the best that's ever been.
Yeah.
Is
And
that
that's essentially why I have that whole Instagram thing. Is like I have this like, I don't know what it is, but this problem where I'm like, last night rig sounded awesome. Like these new pedals are so cool, and then I'll like go to bed and be like, but what if I put the compressor in the side chain, and like I'll just do something new the next day. It's just like, it's like that what's that movie, The Social Network, when he's like, Facebook is never done.
right?
That's
Just
my
always
gear.
you got gear.
It's
gear
just
and
how it
plugs
is today, and yeah,
switches running through your head.
everything can always be improved.
He was very nice and did throw in it is very helpful to the band
Yeah.
because you care about the sound a lot.
There you go.
We'll give him that. He did give you one nice little tidbit. There's a few more, but we could jump into those later. What
Love it.
I guess going through like coming up like when we were younger, high school. I know you played in bands, and what was kind of the point where you were like, all right, like this needs to be my thing, like my profession, my like, or what was a moment that made you like, oh, I could do this?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I mean, they were always like little moments. Like some of them I wasn't even really part of. Like I was like I remember when Lannon Fall at the time played I was not in the band, and they played the Songus Arena, and they were like, you can be our guitar tech. And I was like, yes. And it's like all I did was tune in if it's for Horse, I tuned his E string from drop D to back to E, like brought it out to him in an arena, and I was like, "This is cool. Like this is what I want to do. Like I don't want to go to work, but I also kind of want to be in the band." But then there were other times where like it's weird. Like growing up when we were all in all those bands, I don't think I ever made like $1.
Yeah,
like ever. And then at first it was like someone had introduced me to like the cover stuff, and you're just like, I don't want to do that. And then you finally get talked into it, and then they're like, you play a show just like you've always played every show, and you get handed like $400, whatever it is. And you're like, wait, what? And I was like in my 20s, Yeah. But I also think that like when we signed that publishing deal in that band Empire Street, we got a song on TV and got like a big check. And I was just like, it kind of changes your mentality to like, I could do this from home, or I could go out on the road. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
Obviously it's not easy to land those, but like to answer your question, like money, honestly, like once you got handed money for doing something that you've always done for many years for free, I think it like does open your eyes to, okay, how can I do that again?
Right. Opening all those different avenues as you kind of navigate through, like, yeah, for sure. The sync stuff.
Yep.
Covers. I never did the cover stuff, but I completely understand why people do. And most people do. Most people do both. Like a lot of people do both. You play in cover bands to survive and live.
It's a tough lifestyle.
Yes.
It's a lot of getting home at I think it's something that like a lot of musicians do, and then like they did it and they're done. Like you get off that train. It's hard to keep doing, but people do it.
Yeah, I mean, they make good money doing it too. Some of them. Some people
And
still
it's more the
grinding it
lifestyle
out.
that I can't hang with. I'm not like, oh, I'll never play covers. Like
Right.
if you were like, hey, you want to be in a cover band that plays noon to 2 every day, I'd be like, yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah, because I guess the cover bands do like even weekday nights.
yeah,
a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot of see 3 a.m. a lot, which is never good.
Yeah. What is you guys like typical schedule like? Coming back to that sort of like late nights and things. Like I know you do a lot of weekenders.
Yep.
Is that sort of by design? Is there plans to do more?
Yeah. So I mean, we're pretty good at like keeping the like the family aspect in it. Like we have this calendar that is the most like maintained calendar ever. Like I could tell you what my friends are doing like half the year.
Yeah.
And we book all around that. Like we always write like unless something big comes up, like like Luke Combs wants you to open for him. Okay, I got to go to that one. But otherwise, it's like no, I'm in this city or whatever. And we have found though that like one of the things that really works for us is we don't play late. I mean, sometimes we do, but like we actually found like in Boston, we started doing shows around like 1 p.m. We called them day drinking, and they sell out in minutes because going back to the beginning of this conversation, like everyone wants to be part of that. Everyone wants to day drink at 1, see Dalton, and then still be able to go out,
Right.
So like as far as like show schedule, it's kind of all over the place. We'll play at noon, we'll play at later at night, we'll play midday stuff. And then during the week, Scully kind of does a lot of solo stuff. So you'll see him playing like a lot of benefits and a lot of, charities and fundraisers and stuff. So a lot of times that's just what he does and the band's off. And then we generally, which is coming up actually, almost every March, I don't know why it always falls in March, but we go away to a, because I know you're probably wondering about like rehearsals and writing new songs, but we go away to Lake George in this cabin, and it's just us in like this cabin on the top of a mountain thing, and we stay there for like 4 or 5 days and just set the stuff up in all around the like it's crazy. Like the drums are in the living room by the fireplace, like I'm by the kitchen, and we bring our sound guy Bryce and we mic it all up and record it all, and we stay there for 5 days. Because I think that like this band has found that you can't force inspiration. Like especially like now, it's like I can't show up to practice at 7 and promise I'll have something that day.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that we found that staying together for the whole week, like we've written songs at 2 a.m. when we were like partying, and then we woke up and had breakfast. I forget what CEO it was, but she said that I get all my best ideas driving to work and in the shower. And I think I'm like the same way. Like as far as like anytime I'm trying to write a song and you put me in a room with a guitar, I like literally can't do it. Right. But then like I'll be, watching a basketball Celtics game or something. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what we should do. So that environment has let us write our past 2 records like under no like pressure.
Right.
I mean, there's a week of pressure, but like it's not like a 2-hour session. You know what I mean?
How many songs can you get done in 5 days?
So we're not actually recording them. It's more like writing, but I mean, I guess it kind of depends on like sometimes, and it kind of goes back to the not forcing inspiration thing. Like when we were there the first time, we wrote like 1 or 2 songs, and then we kind of hit a wall. And I think it was actually a funny story. Scully went into one of the bedrooms to like FaceTime his kids, which is another, like you said, the schedule thing. We're always FaceTiming, and so me and Jay were out there, and we started jamming on something. And Scully apparently told his kids like, "I gotta go." Like popped out and like had this idea, and like that song just came out like that. And then we kept going that night, some beers, and we wrote like 4 more songs that night. So it's kind of that like mentality of if we only write 1 song today, that's fine. Because I'd rather write like 1 song we like than be like, we spit out 4, 3 of them suck, but
Right.
so we're pretty patient about the writing process, I guess is kind of what I'm saying. But
That's cool. It's always like you kind of that thought of like letting the music in,
yep,
like to get the songs, like because I'm the same. Like if I have it, someone's like, "Oh, let's practice. I'm gonna write today," and I put my guitar on and like you just like lock
yeah,
up almost, and
yep,
it's like I should know how to write a song like when someone asks me, but
yeah,
I can't, and then it like you just sort of like snowball from there, and then it's just like all over. But
yep,
that's a cool thing to be like, we have nothing. Let's have some beers and play
yep,
beer pong or whatever
yeah,
and hang out,
and
and then
ex-
someone
and the
will
cool,
pop in.
yeah. Well, and the cool part of it is like Bryce records it the whole time, so we actually get. I mean, it's hard to sit through and like listen to it all, but like
Right.
we can go back and be like, "Hey, what was that thing that he was doing?" And he can like find it. A lot of people don't have the luxury of recording their writing sessions, so I don't take that for granted. But like, it's definitely something that's really cool for us. And I mean, there's been times where like, if nothing's happening, like I would maybe just go watch TV or something, and then two guys start writing stuff, and whoever wants to kind of play can play. It's not so like it's a weird model. I don't really know if I should like tell people to do that, but it's what we do, and it's
If it
how
works.
it's how it works. It's very laid back, and it feels kind of like a vacation, and there's nothing to do up there. So I
Right.
mean, that's the thing. You can't have like
You're not going out.
you can't want to leave the house. Yeah.
Right.
Is
So
it mostly guitar driven? Like when you guys are writing, do the guitars usually pick up the guitar first, or is there ever a moment where your drummer's just like, let me just lay down some beats, or I have this beat in my head? And especially you as the bass player, that's important for you guys to link up. Do you guys ever
yeah.
separate
Well, that's yeah. I mean, we are a very like guitar driven band. So Joey and Jay are always noodling. To the point where I actually make the joke that like once they plug their guitars in, I don't hear the guitars stop until like after the show. They'll just play through the whole sound check and like so generally like when we're writing, like they are very active on like riffs. And I think that we're just kind of a naturally like a band like that. But Scully has also brought in like a lot of songs by himself, like as far as just very basic chords, and then he's actually brought in full songs that he's written, and we've just kind of put it on top. We don't really have an exact model, but for the most part, I think me and Dan, the drummer, do kind of sit back and kind of wait for something because it's hard for us to like kind of. I think it's hard for us to start a song in this band. I'm not really like a riffy bass player. I'm more of just I don't want to call myself a root notes guy, but whatever the better version of that is like I guess I'm not coming out there with like a Muse riff, is like to start a song is I guess is what I'm saying. But
you're there for the party.
Yeah, I can't jump up and down and play that part, it's like you gotta pick one.
I feel that, Dennis. I feel that. That's my style as well.
Two bass players in my face right now.
I know, this is wild.
Hey, Wyatt, let me ask you, do you know of many bands that have two bass players? Because maybe we could start one with two
I think it's
bass.
zero. I did see a bass jam at NAMM. It was like Victor Wooten and friends, which was awesome.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah,
that's the only time I've ever seen that happen. It's like he's involved.
I don't think anyone, besides maybe that kind of a thing, I don't think anyone needs to see.
But maybe what we could do is we could have you two, and then get another bass player.
Yeah,
so really,
yeah.
We could have three bass players. No one's doing.
We could alternate root notes.
Yeah, and a baritone guitar and only a kick drum.
That's it. Just as deep as it could be.
There we go.
Just blow out all the windows.
See you guys next week.
You heard it here first. 4 Buds Live. We're starting the first bass-centric band ever.
Let's do it.
There you go.
I'm here for it. Records. You guys recording? You have anything in the pipeline?
So we're in the process of making a new record.
Okay.
We actually just booked that getaway I was talking about. So we will have hopefully a new record. I hate to put a timeline on things, but hopefully by the summer. around the summer. But
So in
yeah,
the fall, I got it.
yeah. So next winter,
Next spring, I gotcha.
yeah, it you can't, you can't predict that. I guess who knows?
Yeah.
We could write 200 songs next month, but we could write one. But we are writing. We just came off still off the last record we did, but also we just put out a live record from the Pavilion, which is fun. That's always a good
live stuff.
That was from the most recent one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many years have you done that now? 2 or 3?
The Pavilion,
Yeah.
3.
3.
Yep.
Do they get better every year, or not, because you're used to it, and like not that it's always going to be exciting to play at a big place with that many people, but obviously like the first time's always the best,
Oh yeah.
like
I mean,
you're chasing that every time.
Yeah, I mean that was probably, trying to think. That was probably the biggest venue I've played. Or at least as far as like how many seats were filled.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, walking out there, the first time, you don't get, it doesn't get old. I mean, I know that's such a cliche thing, but like,
no, definitely
that venue is just so amazing. There's just so much more to it too. It's right on the water. You get the view of Boston there. Everyone's out. It's covered, but you get the outside air, which is nice. And you walk in there and just the set lists. The first thing you see is set lists on the wall of bands that have played there, and you're like, all right, this is a real place.
Real deal, yeah.
But it's always fun. Yeah.
The others you've played, what, MGM, House of Blues, similar experience, or do you find it different indoors for one? And
yeah, and that just might be a thing with like us and our fans. I feel like we're like a outside party band, so I feel like the more outdoors you can be, at least like in the summer. I mean, obviously, if we're playing in the winter, we're gonna go to MGM. Yeah, that's what we'd do. Yeah. But like, if you're gonna play a summer concert, I mean, that's where the Pavilion's a seasonal venue, obviously. So there's something about the ocean air, like you're right on the water,
right?
And Friday night down by the water is an easy sell versus drive to Fenway, try to park somewhere, and then go inside when it's nice out. So I think like it's a weird thing for us, and we actually just are going through this now. Is like our shows are very venue specific. Like we're not really a band that's like we can bring the same amount of people no matter what venue. I think our fans and crew like do kind of lean towards certain venues. So we try to keep playing those ones that they like too. Because it's just as much for them, than what we want.
Of course. Yeah, if they're coming. I mean, you guys do such a great job in Boston with, like you said, the day drinking, and like I feel like your shows are more an event.
Yeah.
Per se, like like something special, opposed to like just going to another show on a Friday night, which is obviously also fun. But when it's like you create that look forward to, like when you guys do your residencies and stuff, you always make it. It's not just like we're doing a residency, come see us every Friday. It's like this is the day drinking thing. Or I know there's been a few others that I just can't really think of, like the way you hit, like the Tall Ships is always like a big thing. I mean, I assume Scully is kind of like the the scientist behind that. I know you have a good team of like people that help with a lot of that stuff. What is that kind of process like? Do you know, or is that more of just like this is what we're playing and we're gonna kill it?
Yeah, no, I mean, and one of the things, with the band, like I said, we are a close knit friend band from past years, but we, the truth is, we did join a machine that has been going for 15 years, and we've only been in it for 3 or 4, or 5 maybe, I don't know, coming up. And so there is a lot of like, we do trust. There have been things that happened in relationships and in networking that has happened before we were ever in this band, that we just kind of put trust into Scully, that Scully is the one that kind of determines where we're going and is steering the ship, if you will. Right. But the rest of us, it's not exactly a hey, we're doing this show up at 5. It's like what do you guys think of this? This is what I think we should do based on historically what we've done. And here's data. He loves data. He's like a big data dude. So he'll pull out a spreadsheet for anything he's talking about and be like, no, last year we did this. And we're like, okay, yeah, that all makes sense, So, he really works hard on that stuff. And it we just kind of show up and make whatever show we're doing the best we can.
Yeah, that's great that he does that. That's super important. I feel like a lot of bands don't have that stuff, and then like when it comes time to like a label knocking on the door, they're like asking all the questions. Would you do a merch? Would you do here? What's your guarantee? How many people showed up? And they're like, I have no fucking clue. I guess I'll start keeping track of it, and then that's gone. That relationship's kind of
Scully could probably pull that up from something 12 years ago. So
that's
I could
great.
never.
I mean,
So
wait, are you guys all from the Northeast Boston area? All of you, Scully included?
Dan is actually from New York, our drummer.
Okay.
He upstate New York. He went to Berkeley though, so met a lot of people in Boston and kind of stayed here. So it's mostly South Shore, and then I'm the only North Shore one, which I get a lot of flack for, and then Dan technically, who's from New York.
Is there any kind of like is being from not the South in country or the Midwest, is there any kind of feeling of inadequacy in the beginning? Like you have to kind of earn your stripes a little harder because you're coming from, an area that maybe isn't as known for country music?
Yeah, I think it's. We were at a guitar clinic once, and someone asked like, which I thought it was a little funny of a question, but I thought that there was a little interesting tidbit in there. Was like, if you're a country band from Boston, how do you come out without like not feeling fake? Kind of like what you're asking me. And I think it just kind of comes down to like how genuinely you're playing. I think you can kind of feel it right away when someone's chasing a sound. Like they say like the biggest mistake is like, like just as literally on my screen, no reason I'm choosing him, but like Noah Kahan's like blowing it up right now. I want to sound like him. Like that's the worst thing you can do because that sound has already gone through the ringer and it's done and something else is coming. So I think that, if you are trying to chase a sound, it's very easy to spot, at least for like musicians. I don't know if that really goes for like every fan or audience member, but so I like Jay and Joey are just like such good guitar players as far as like they have the G benders and they really know how to use them. They're not like someone that looked it up online and wanted to sound like, this band. And we just kind of do what we do. And I mean, Scully has like one of the, like my favorite quotes in one of the songs was like, love the ones who love you back, love us back, leave the rest behind. I think there's a portion of like, you can't care about that stuff either. If you are genuine about it, like, you know what I mean? Right. Just like the people who want to hear this are going to come, and the people who don't, hopefully they don't like heckle you, but who cares? They don't have to come.
But do you ever accidentally like slip out the Boston accent and you're like in like West Virginia and you're like, oh fuck?
It's funny because like we don't really like Scully kind of does, but like we don't really have super strong Boston accents.
Yeah, you don't. But
I was told I sound like I'm from Canada.
I can hear that. Yeah,
but the minute we start,
right?
Yes, I was gonna say the amount of drinks we've had, you'll start hearing it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You just know that from me.
I was thinking about like this whole time, like doing an impression of what it would sound like to do country with a Boston accent. But I don't think I could pull it off today. I need to workshop it first before.
Yeah. Well, there is something about like an accent. Like like Scully doesn't sing with a country like accent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a very energetic and like, high energy, like vocal, like I don't want to say yelling, but like the ability for people to sing along at a high, like a loud level with him. And I don't think he has that like if you're from Boston and you're trying to do a Nashville or Southern accent, I think it's pretty easy to spot. That's kind of what I mean by like chasing the sound. Like if you just do your own sound to it, like it's kind of weird. Like sometimes I don't even know if we are a country band. Like people label us that, but I mean, we crush out the wallflowers and like
They're more rock.
we have elements of country for sure, but we also have elements of 90s rock and like stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't think we fall into that category of like, I think maybe on paper, people are like, what do you mean a country band from Boston? But I think when you see us, it's not like, it's like, okay, that sounds like a Boston country band would sound, you know?
It's definitely rock. You guys are definitely rock heavy.
Yeah.
And especially with, like you said, the really well done yell singing, high energy stuff that Scully does it's definitely. I feel like he could move into a rock band and no one would be like, oh, what's this country dude doing?
But we kind of like, or at least he I mean, before we were even in the band, he kind of like made fun of the band. Like he would call it a fourth line country band, like a hockey term, fourth line. Like we're not really legit, but we're gonna go and scrap at it. And I think that like, so we kind of know that, like we know we're not like up there and like with cowboy hats and like, well, Jay wears one because
I've seen you with your cowboy boots on.
That is, I'll be dead serious with you. That is mostly for height.
That's fair.
It is and not in a like, oh, I'm 6'2" like way. It's like the rest of the band is taller than me, and I always just felt so dumb in photos, like, oh, hey guys. So that's my way of like, I'm like, dude, you're taller than me. You're gonna wear boots, so now you're like double taller than me. So I'm at least gonna get back to
try to keep
how
up.
tall you actually are than me. Yeah, that's all. I
respect that.
Yeah.
How do you compensate for that? That besides the cowboy boots, are you maybe the talker of the band more? Because you have to kind of be heard. You have to be louder because everyone's so above you.
Right. Like so what oh yeah, so
do you have to
well, I had to learn another instrument. I had to play harmonica. That was my way of getting the stage by myself. Yeah.
So can I ask you about the harmonica? Because that was mentioned to me as well.
Wait, do you have it with you right now?
The story that I got is that you just showed up before a show one time. I was like, guys, I learned harmonica. I'm gonna play it.
Well, one of the things that that we do, it's just kind of like a test run, was we have these cities that we can go to and have like great nights and great crowds, but then 20 miles from that city we'll bring nobody, and just because we've never been there, like and so as kind of a let's try this out, we tried this like, hey, we're gonna do a tribute night. So we did like, we're doing the Zacks, it's called Zach Brown and Zach Bryan, and then we also play Dalton songs, and we make that up front. So we kind of do our versions of them. They're not like cookie cutter. It's it's okay, let's rock this out a little bit, and it's brought people in, and we've met fans and who then became like, dude, your songs are awesome. I would have never heard them if you just put your name on the flyer. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a way to just like grow and outside of some of the cities that we're already doing well in, and like, so we're playing Zach Bryan songs. And I was like, well, this song has like this sick harmonica part in the beginning. And I was like, so who's going to do it? And then no one, then this guy. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. And I like, it seemed like a good idea. So I like learned how to do it on an app, on an iPhone app, because I was in the RV. I didn't have a harmonica. Mm-hmm. But it's actually really, this is an excuse, because I looked it up. I was like, bass players who play harmonica, and there's like one guy that's just like ripping. But it's actually harder for me because than to just strum something, because like there's no percussive like thing, so it's like very like, to me it's like playing a piano. If you play them at the same time, you really have to like shut off your left and right brain, which couple drinks it gets a little fuzzy. but yeah, I just kind of learned, and those songs aren't anything crazy. Like I could never do like the Blues Traveler stuff, but like the Zach Bryan stuff is pretty cool. So it gives me and Scully a little moment to like have like just the two of us. We do that on the stages some nights. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it? Is it something like you are embracing, and like do you work on it, or are you just like got your songs and like that we'll call it a day?
Like I haven't written with it yet. So actually I'm gonna bring it when we go. So I don't know if I don't want to force it into one of our songs, but like maybe it could work. It's fun. Like there's all, and then by the time you start playing harmonica, they're all in different keys. So you quickly turn into the guy that you need a couple of them. So it's
Get the
quickly turn into like
best
the
in the
watch
whole
guy.
thing.
Yeah, that like opens up his thing. I'm like, which one you need? So I always fear pulling out the wrong key one and just like smashing into a song and it just not sounding good. But
It's
it's
just
been
a
fun.
nightmare.
Yeah, it's a fun instrument. But
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool little thing to have, I guess probably technically and literally in your back pocket.
yeah.
Do any of your shows get to a point where it's like too adult for maybe the kids to be there? Like maybe it's a late show, people are drinking. Do you what is your demographic like, and have you ever had ladies taking off their tops for you guys?
It's so funny that you asked that because literally the first time ever that happened as a joke last weekend.
That's
But
It was
yeah,
really Andy.
someone threw a bra on stage. It was none of us knew what to do. It was really weird. But besides that, the like as far as the demographic, I think the shows are really rowdy and fun. But I think the only thing that really affects that is the time. Because our friends and fans and the venues we work with are so awesome at like letting the kids and the wives come and the girlfriends that generally they're never, I mean, we're not going to bring them to like bar stuff, but like, most of the venues we play are super accommodating to the kids. They come on stage, they, before the show, but during sound check, they draw pictures, which is awesome. And then we hang them up on the amps when we play. So they're very much like part of the show in a weird way. And they're like, they're taken care of. We get them seats, up high, and when they can come, it's a good time, and I think just the time is a big reason, or in location, obviously, but why they would miss a show.
Is your job mostly just the band? Like, is that what you do? Like,
Yeah, I do some stuff on the side, but yeah,
that's the dream, dude. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you.
It is great. I mean,
That's
I love seeing it, like, people growing up with, and like you're doing it still. It's great. Always cheer for you. And it's just fun to see, like, the appreciation for it, like, because I did it in some capacity as well, and Andy, you too, like knowing what it takes and seeing someone like a peer friend do it as well is like I don't know, it's a different kind of respect and like admiration, because
Mhm.
it's not an easy, as fun as it is, it's not an easy lifestyle all the time. Most of the time, I think, is
thanks, dude. Yeah,
a fair thing to say.
yeah, it's a lot of people don't. It's kind of one of those things where like the stage is just part of what we do. The stage is like when I used to do stuff with the NFL. Like I used to follow the players Monday through Saturday, so I actually didn't cover much of their game.
Right.
But I saw like what they did with like donations and like going and giving kids gifts at Christmas and turkey Thanksgiving jams, they were called. And I think that you can kind of apply that to a band. Like when we're on stage, like that's our game. But like a lot of people don't see what happens Sunday through Saturday,
Right.
and it's a lot of driving. It's a lot of rest stops. I could probably tell you every rest stop in America. It's a lot of trying to eat well, getting home really late, flights. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. But
Yeah, it's a grind, and then we talk about that a lot, of like the sacrifice part, the stage stuff. The show is like the fun part that everyone gets to see, and it's like, oh, this is amazing, what a cool life. And like, meanwhile, you're
Mhm.
grinding out on your instrument, or like trying to figure something out of like how to do this and how do we get here, and
Mhm.
the bus broke down, like
Yeah.
how do we get home? How do we get home, or to the next gig, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that's like, we're sort of trying to bring that kind of stuff to light a bit, as
Yep.
well as, like, I always say, like, it's like the best worst job that
It
you could have.
That's the thing. It's like the week can go so crazy. Like you said, buses can break down. You could have to take different transportation. You have to build different rigs to fly with. Like it's a lot that goes into it. And then, but the minute you step on that stage and like hit the first note, it's such a cliche and stupid thing to say. But honestly, all that stuff goes away.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've even seen people like super sick, like even like pre like COVID. Like I'm not talking about like that, but like just like flu and like whatever, and then like Jordan, right? The flu game. It's like something about stepping on the stage that just makes everything that you were worrying about like go away, and then it might come back the next morning, but you know.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I was always sick every fucking tour.
Yep.
So I know exactly what you mean, especially if you know those southern bars and those venues that everyone smokes inside.
Yep.
And you have some kind of chest flu, fucks
Yep.
you up. And then boom,
Yep.
lights, camera, action.
All of a sudden you could sing.
I'm back, bitch. Yeah, it's great. There's nothing like that live energy, man.
It's some sort of drug. I don't know what it is, but like it's crazy.
I've yet to find it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like the full effect of it.
Mhm.
Do you, so like when I used to play the bigger shows and even some of the, good smaller shows, like you sort of get on stage, you start, and then like the set's over all of a sudden and you kind of forget what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys do it for a long time, so like that's a big chunk.
Well, that
of
was
life
me
that
at the
disappears.
pavilion. Yeah. When
And
we
like,
played
you
that
have
pavilion
so
show.
much adrenaline, and it's like,
Yeah. I
what just
didn't remember I didn't remember half the show.
Yeah.
Like just because it was just a blur. I mean, I was happy we got video.
Yeah. It's such a weird thing of like you spend, obviously you put your time in that, like you don't even have to think about playing
Yep.
the songs. Like that's just like, that's
and
just like walking. It's
and
normal,
going back to like the, Monday through Saturday thing, like which obviously doesn't apply in the music, but you know what I mean? Like football wise. There's been times where we've had a big show and we've had to build like a whole rig, like in-ear racks, and get them all working and test them. And the whole week is like a grind just for that 60 minutes. And it's like, and then it works and you're just like, like you said, it's a blur. You spend way more time making sure the hour goes well. You know what I'm saying? And that
100%.
kind of goes up with me, like losing sleep at night because I don't have the right length cable or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And like that's the stuff that like really only you probably notice.
Yep.
But it drives you insane.
Yep.
No one, any casual fan, like a music, right? A normal music fan who's not a musician or like, like I'm sure you're the same. Like I don't watch a show or a concert like the same as like a music fan. I feel like I'm watching like what's happening, like the guys running around in the background and like what
100%
they're switching
and then I go buy all their gear the next day.
Right,
there's like a popular meme on the internet that's like it's a football game and there's a guy in the crowd fully dressed as a player and it says like when you play football and go to a game, like it's just like that. Yeah, I don't like. I go in there and I start looking around at like what wireless paddles they have and like how many techs they have and how many, and how they do their swaps. Because honestly, you're like, it's kind of like you're almost like taking notes too, right? It's like this is what okay, this band is on the stage for a reason. What are the things that they do, and what are the things that we could do that they do?
Yeah,
the
levels of professionality, I guess would be the word of like really, really famous bands who play arenas and stadiums all the time. You don't think like when you're coming up and doing it, you don't think it's that much different until you like kind of see it executed in front of you and you're like, holy shit, what are we doing? Like this, we're like hacks compared to what's happening here. Like you need, like you said, take your notes and apply it in a way that's not overly noticeable, right? Like all that stuff is the stuff that no one's supposed to see.
Yep. Yeah.
And you only notice it when you're not doing it.
Well, and the hard part is like that changes throughout your like music career. So like what I mean by that is like when you're just starting, like I mean we've done it. We've played we played at like the Boys and Girls Club, right? Like small little places where like the PA could barely handle the vocals. So I have to bring in a huge bass rig and like, you know, all this stuff.
Yep.
And then like as you get, it's almost like a rich get richer. As you get to bigger venues, things are different. It's like now I have to use in-ears. Or like don't have to, but like now I have to at least have some sort of monitor situation. And now like when I get to the arena level, like I can actually ditch my 810 because, you know, the venue's so big that that my amp isn't actually doing anything, you know? And so like you actually have to adapt to like that stuff where I think that when we're watching those shows a lot, it's like, oh, you see things that you aren't using, but for that reason, like because you are playing a smaller venue, but it's like, okay, that's why they're doing that, you know? So
Wait, for bigger venues though, do you just leave your rig in your trailer and just bring? Because I see a lot of bands now traveling with just little modular. I'm a drummer, so I don't know how to talk your lingo.
We don't want to go down this path. We'll be here another 5 hours, but
let's hear it.
No, so digital modeling had pretty much changed a lot of live music and sound, and I was actually introduced to that by Mike Soltoff, who now plays in a cover band, but played in a band called A Hero Next Door. He was a singer of that band, actually. But anyway, they basically make like amp modelers that through, say, the Garden, you know, you're coming through their PA will sound like a real amp, you know. And a lot of bands do that because now you can travel with a rack of just those little things and not have to bring, you know, amps or whatever. But it only really works when you're playing big venues, and it only really works if your whole band is all in on it. Like you can't have just the bass player on direct and have two guitars screaming in the room. So it is kind of you kind of have to all buy in, and my two guitar guys, if they're watching, like will never do that. So so I have to bring a rig around, and that's why I have a whole.
Well, what are the reasons for it? Is it just more energy to hear that on stage rather than have it in your in-ears?
Yeah, I think that like, well, at least this is my opinion. Like when their amps are super loud, like at your back and feet, like you can feel them, and then you just they'll kind of overtake what you feel in your feet. At least for me, you know, as far as the stage goes. So they become really monitors on the stage. I mean, you mic up everything anyway, but I mean, maybe maybe people would disagree with that, but I think like if there's gonna be a amp on the stage, then I'll bring my amp. Like, I have played without an amp, but you do kind of lose it, because otherwise you're not just getting the ears, you're also getting ears and like your back. You can feel a guitar.
Right, your
stage,
body
you know?
can feel the.
So. But I do play digital rigs and stuff and send them to front of house so that I have my same. So in my ears for bass, my tone is the exact same every night. Okay. And then on the stage, if I want to feel it, I'll bring a cab.
That makes sense. Do you guys have any, especially on the bigger stages, do you have other things that fill up that stage? Like, what does your stage setup look like exactly besides your instruments, besides your cabs?
So like, you mean like props
just
and lights and stuff?
Aesthetically.
Yeah. We don't travel with a light show or anything. We have the big banner and all. We have, Joey's got the keys. So we have a little key station. So, I mean, I know you said no amps, but like these guys are big boutique amp guys. So actually, we do have like kind of the look of a lot of amps on stage, which is cool. And then we'll depending on what show it is, we will dress it up differently. Like we've done like a whole Christmas lights thing. We've done like we made these like fence things, but there aren't really a lot of like props. It's kind of like here's our stuff, and we're gonna. Play loud through it. And we have like rugs. We always have like each person has a rug. I don't know, and that's not really anything like.
It does make a difference. I mean, as little as it is, like a bare stage to like 3 nice looking rugs. Like I feel like that's like a singer-songwriter country kind of feel. You know, you got the Edison bulbs hanging up or whatever. It's like that same kind of vibe.
And there's something about. It's like totally mental, but there's something about standing on a rug versus just like whatever a stage is made out of. I don't know. It's like feels like you're kind of at home.
It's the worst material.
Yeah.
in
do
a black
you guys like,
stage.
do you guys coordinate the way you dress on stage?
No. So everyone makes fun of me. I pretty much have taken up this like Steve Jobs deal of like I wear the same thing every night. It says it takes one less decision out of the day, which is like, which actually is like super helpful sometimes. Like if I'm very late for something, which is like always, I don't have to be like, what am I gonna wear? It's boom, boom, boom.
What's the
and I
fit?
wash it like it's this like stupid blue jacket I've always had, and
Okay.
it's just like a members only jacket. And
You wear anything under it?
I hate that you're getting stuff in your ear right now. I don't wear anything under it, and I'm gonna own that.
All right, just bare chest bomber jacket.
I saw Prince do it once. So.
You don't have any pictures, Eric? What the fuck, man? You could have easily brought some. I need to see this.
I'm sure it's zipped up. You don't.
I mean,
like,
it's zipped
rip
all the way. Yeah, it looks like this. I don't have
You
anything
have
under
it, like,
this.
half down, showing the.
When we come to your show, Den, you got to unzip it a little bit so we can get a little peek.
Okay, maybe. Now that I've let the secret out, jeez.
I think that it's also, it makes a member more memorable. Like you see them always in pictures looking the same. It gives you that recognition.
The only thing that the only negative to me is like I can never picture what show that was. It could literally be any of them. But yeah, I think there is something like, not that that's like my brand, but it's like my Fred Durst, Yankees hat.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I wear, dude.
Aesthetic is important. Is like as corny and cheesy as it sounds, and like it makes a huge difference, especially when you're playing bigger stages and things like that.
Like Jay wears a cowboy hat. He's never ridden a horse. Like I can't be that guy,
Yeah.
I'm
Stirrups and the whole deal. It's got on. No, but I feel like you guys sort of, maybe it's unintentional, but like you do mesh. Like it's not like one guy's wearing like a sleeveless t-shirt and like gold chains and like you all do fit. Like you look like you fit in the band.
But who would you say is like the sexiest member of the band?
God.
Like the most sexually attractive? And you could say yourself.
outside of you.
No, the joke of the band is that nobody knows who I am. I'm just Jay's friend. So I think that Jay is like, and Scully obviously are like the most recognizable people of the band. So I've used Jay's name to get in bars. I'm like, no, I'm in a band with like Jay. And so and now he's got like a mullet. He's trying so hard. It's about like, no, but he's like, I think that like I'm like humble as a like musician by nature. Like I don't want to be like doing solo. I don't want to be up front and being like, look at this thing. So I actually when we play, like I'm usually in the back. Like my pedal board is actually in the back. I like to stand in the back. So Jay is kind of the in your face Paisley guitar, country lick shredding dude in a harp, and cowboy hat.
He was a front man.
Yeah, and he was a front man too.
So, like,
I think he would, fit that. I'm not going to say he's sexy, but like I think that he would be the most on the way.
I love that answer.
We won't give him the full credit of sexy. We'll just say Dennis thinks he's on his way.
Yeah, I use his name to get into bars. So
hey Derek,
start doing that.
What do you think if we do the rating game?
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't even know what that is, but yes.
That would be exciting to see Dennis squirm a little bit. That would be fun.
So every once in a while,
now I don't want to play.
Every once in a while filming our TV show part of this is just a build up for the show that will be out eventually. We ask bands this question, band members, and we will ask you, and we require you to just be honest with us. We want you to rate your band members from worse.
Oh God, yes.
Like today,
right now.
The caveat is it's just for today. It could change in an hour. Could change tomorrow. It could never change.
Wait, are there categories?
No. Who are you feeling right now?
Just who you're feeling the most.
Like, actually, you know what? Maybe it's best to start at the top. Usually, who's your number one, and then work your way down to who you're not feeling.
I have to put Scully at number one. for my job security. Definitely
Boss
Scully.
man first. Got it.
Number 2, I'm gonna go Dan, because so I mean every bass player needs a good drummer.
That's right.
Love it.
We don't have one, but no, I'm just kidding. No, Dan is the most chill. He's never like stressed out, except sometimes when he works, but like never really stressed out, and he's good to like ride with. I think that's and obviously me and him have the most. Me and Dan have the most like connection on the stage, like during the shows.
Right.
Like I don't even look at the other guys. I don't really care about them. But like, no, me and Dan are always like cueing each other. So I think him and I have like the best, whatever. So I would put him at 2.
Okay.
And then I would put all the rest of us at 3. Can I do that?
No.
All right, I'm
You
gonna
don't
put.
have to include yourself.
I'm
You could be a default number 1 team.
Okay, well I'll put Joey at 3, and then I'll put Jay at 4 because I already gave him the sexy, so I can't
Right.
also like shoot him up this like thing, you know.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
great.
So he has to be
rundown.
humbled a little bit. I mean, he does wear a cowboy hat, and he's never ridden a horse. So
So fucked.
You got to get this guy a horse. Somebody's got to get him on a horse.
just that's the joke of all that is I went to Yellowstone over the summer and I rode a horse, and I was like that. I kind of just like took
Did you
that home with
FaceTime
me.
him while you're on it? And be
Yeah, and I was like,
what's
dude,
up?"
you've never even ridden a horse, you know, because we were trying to plan a trip there next year. I don't think it's gonna happen, but
Was
we'll
it a
see.
horse or a pony that you rode?
it was a horse.
Okay.
It was named Chalk Eye. That was the name of the horse. Pretty sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a cool name.
hmm
Dennis,
I like
what can Jay do to bring himself out of the pits of your life right now?
me and Jay have
Maybe riding a horse, like so. You could come up.
no, me and Jay have known each other the longest of the band. So like me and Jay, I would call Jay my best friend. He called someone else his best friend on stage in Nashville.
Oof.
So that was like a big thing. Yeah, but no, me and him are together most of the week, and like I'm always going to his shop, and we always just like bust each other. So he's probably sitting here at home laughing and whatever. I see my texts blowing up. So
Oh, that's
No.
fantastic.
everyone's great though. Everyone adds an awesome and such a dumb cliche answer, but honestly, we all add like a really cool and funny
Of course.
side to the
We're-
band
don't
and have our
worry,
own
we're
fights.
not gonna like put ads out about your rating of the band. We understand how it works.
There are some
Um,
days you might be last on their list. It's just it changes. It depends on.
Oh, I definitely am. Yeah, yeah.
You
It's
might
good.
just look
Good awareness.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked gear a bit. You've got your Denny Does Audio
Mhm.
page going. When did you realize that was a must? Because it seems like it was just a must. I'm sure everybody
Yeah.
in the band would agree. Like, what are you doing?
Well, I got like super. I mean, I've always been into gear, but like I got super into, like organize. Like you mentioned it earlier, like the organizing of the gear and just having like good racks and having like nice looking and well kept systems. So, I mean, one of the things that kind of, I mean, I've always done the rack stuff, but one of the things that really like expedited that was we opened for a band a couple years ago. Not going to name names because it had nothing to do with the band, but like they also are a band that has a bass player in their backing tracks. It's like not a real person.
Got
Not
it.
really down with that.
I don't like them
but-
already.
Yeah, but anyway, so we played our set and like seconds after we were done, like stagehands came and just started unplugging everything. And we had like a rat's nest of like XLRs running to our monitors. So things were like separated, like things had cables hanging out of them. I'm freaking out because I'm like, oh my God, did he put the amp in standby? Like, did he just pull the speaker cable? You know? And at that moment, I realized like, if we're going to do this at kind of going back to when you talked about the watching bands and like taking notes, I was like, if we're going to do this at this level, like we need to have the real shit. Like we need to have patch panels and we need to label this stuff and we need to have the shortest cables and like we need to be, up and down in minutes. And the other thing is like labeling. I really found that like if you take the time to just like label things like your rack, someone could probably set that up that doesn't even know you. Like there's been times where I've rolled in my gear and I come back on stage and my DI is already plugged in, things are powered in the back just because it said like front of house DI.
Right.
So I kind of learned from that show that like this stuff's fun. And then I got like super obsessed with it and just like started building pedal boards. And I got basically at one point owned every one of the guitar modelers. So like I know all of them. And I made different systems and ways to, control them with MIDI. And I just kind of got insane on them. And I would always like talk to people about it. And it was Ryan Mercedes. He played in Lannon. He was a guitar player. He said to me one day, if you started a YouTube channel, I would watch it. And I was like, that's all I needed. Like one person to tell me that. And because I like respect him a lot about his opinion on gear too. And he was like, no, you got it. So, and then a few people and that's such a dumb thing to say, but two people have asked me to build rigs for them. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this is kind of cool. It's like something that takes is interesting to me. And it like, I don't exactly know if I'm looking for it to be like profitable right now, but it's more like helpful videos, tips and tricks. I was very careful to make it sound like I'm not an audio company. Like I'm not making things to sell.
Right.
It's more of like a blog in a way, like a video, like vlog, if you will. So I just came up with that dumb name and I've just been like pumping out content and meeting people because like I said, we went to NAMM, which is like the worst thing that I could ever go to. It's like take someone that's addicted to something and then put them in a room of all the best of those things for 4 days. But I realized that like you can really network with these companies. Like you can either whether it's endorsements or just like meet people, like people have probably formed bands. Like it's just kind of another way to get my name out there too. It's instead of like, hey, that guy that plays bass in Dalton and doesn't wear t-shirts, So like I kind of wish I did a little more at NAMM this year, but like I think that my goal is to kind of do that and really maybe get, become like a digital creator, if you will, and build rigs for people, do whatever. So
is the building rigs thing, is that like I don't want to say a goal, but like part of it? Is that where you're hoping like to kind of build up to that?
Yeah, I mean,
where like people are coming to you to build stuff. I mean, obviously people already are, like you said, but
yeah, it's really like it's a cool feeling and like flattering when people are like, dude, like you clearly know what you're doing. I don't. If I buy everything, will you put it together for me? And like that seems like, oh, that's a crappy job. But I'm like, yeah, I'd love to do that. Like because I'll do it this way and like whatever, and then you'll have and then you'll have the same experience that we have. So, and then it's just like, it's also just like I don't know if we would, but maybe like you could reach out into like the podcast world too, and like just talk to some of these artists and talk to some of these companies. Like that's kind of what I have for a goal there too. So it is kind of new, but something I've always been doing, and just kind of becoming online now. So
that's great. And your non-horse riding cowboy friend is probably a good connection in that situation as well.
So yeah, he's the one that always gets me down there to NAMM. So I thank him for that. But it's such a, like for me, like if you don't know what NAMM is, it's like a trade show or an expo of the latest and greatest and soon coming down the pipe gear from all these music manufacturers. So I mean, you see things there that aren't even out yet, and so I have an issue that I couldn't solve here or whatever, and then like you find that people have made that, and it's like, okay, awesome. And you talk about it, and you just make a lot of friends down there, and it's a cool place for me. I recommend any musician go to NAMM.
Yeah, like
it might seem overwhelming because there's just so many exhibits, but like if you have a specific niche that you want to go check out, and you can meet a lot of people. It's kind of weird. There's like many celebrities in the music world just walking around and very approachable. No one, there's nothing.
I've seen that. I saw that. People, just taking pictures with the other awesome artists. It seems really cool.
And you learn a lot. Like they teach. It's like you learn like different pedals, you learn how to do different techniques on guitars, you learn different amps. Like there's there's seminars you can go to. It's a really cool thing. I think you kind of have to be a little bit of a gearhead. If you're someone that's like, I'll play through anything, this maybe not for you. But like if you do care about your sound, and I mean, there's everything from guitars to like, woodwind instruments to like recording softwares. Mike, there's a whole podcast section now. So it's like, there's really cool stuff that you can
I think gear is at an all-time high. I feel like people liking gear,
pedals, so much of it.
It's huge right now. So that's great.
Yep.
And it does so much more. Like I feel all the digital leanings now, you could pretty much make anything like for any situation you're in, like you do. I mean, I see you post all the time. You got your flying rig, your full band, your whole, you got them all.
Well, I think
it's cool that the versatility.
Yeah, well, I think that like that is something that maybe not every band has that challenge, but like I'm grateful that we have the ability to fly around to a lot of gigs, and you find that you could have this beautiful, huge pedal board that you bring around all these awesome venues locally in this full stack of a Marshall. But what if you have to fly out to LA? Like, what are you going to do? So for us, I mean, I kind of find it's like a fun challenge to get the most on the airplane in the safest. That's the other part of it is protection too. I mean, I'm like a stickler on protection because the better you protect your gear, the more you can A, use it, but B, resell it. So I never want anything to be bouncing around. So like I make these rigs that a lot of times actually come on the plane with me.
I was going to ask you carry on with them.
We bring our in-ear rack on the road and we'll check those. But we found a little hack that I don't want to tell everyone to be able to. Just kidding. Mono makes a bag that has what's called a tick on it. And it's like a little looks like a little bug, but it attaches. And I put the bag in that, and then when I get on because we gate check the guitars, and then I just take the little tick on the plane with me, and my pedals are at my feet, and they're nice and safe and sound. And that way, no one, because you can really add up a lot of unnecessary spending if you don't pack for a fly gig, right? Like, I mean, those Pelicans, if they're over 50 pounds, those are going to be $50 to $100 each. If you have to check pedal boards, if you have to check bags, period, and then your gear's flying down, conveyor belts. So I don't know if you've ever seen what some people, I'm not going to say all airline baggage handlers, but some of them think everything has a pillow in it. So you just look out the window and see your gear getting thrown. And it's just like, if you take them a minute and do it right, you can save yourself a lot of hassle.
Any disasters flying with stuff?
Knock on wood. Not yet. No.
Yeah.
We've had pretty good luck. Yeah. We get a pretty good process where, obviously it's a luxury to be able to have a fly rig. You don't want to be ripping your pedal board off every time and building it when you have to fly. Yeah. So we just bring the essentials and rent or use good backline. And sometimes we've even used digital rigs, if there are no amps.
And do you fly first class?
No, I've never. The only time I've ever flown first class was when I went to Disney World, and it was just because it was open, pretty much.
Hell yeah!
But
sick.
No, I am.
Another year or two, you'll be.
Yeah, I don't really care. I don't know.
Of course, you don't care, but it is nice though.
Well, I love that. I'm so sick though. That's why.
The good thing about us and like in this situation is we all fly together usually. So if I'm sitting next to someone, it's like Jay or Joey or Dan.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about touching their arm or leg.
Yeah, it's like and it's a lot easier to fly with your friends or your family than like sitting next to random people. So I think that kind of goes hand in hand with like it's fine if I sit in the back,
Yeah.
But I'll just
all
sleep
right. So
anyway.
what do we got coming up? We got New York, Racket.
Mm-hmm.
What other you got?
We're looking at a big show this summer.
Okay.
Nothing's booked yet, so or at least officially yet. So I don't want to get too far, but something big in Boston this summer. That's kind of when or fall-ish. late summer.
Okay. Can I just stop you because I want to ask you one more thing before you
Mhm.
rattle them off? You guys have gotten to meet and play like a lot of sporting events and
Mhm.
athletes and um, what's that? I mean, what's it like? Like I know like a lot of the Bruins guys, you guys are cool with.
Yep.
Is that just like a normal thing at this point? I saw you were
No.
on TV the other day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we
You
were at the
got up in the
booth. Yeah,
booth.
yeah. Yeah, that and that is all pretty much attributed to Scully. He's really put in, or and his family is a big hockey family.
Hmm.
So and we've had been lucky with some of the local guys like Charlie Coyle coming back to the Bruins and just kind of bringing it all in. Um, so yeah, I mean that never gets old. I mean,
Yeah.
we got to play, which is so crazy, the centennial game for the Bruins this year, which is their 100th anniversary of their first
Hmm.
game ever. And played outside. It was like 20 degrees and windy, but got through that, and they treated us so well. They gave us a suite. Actually, we got to hang out in suites. So, um, yeah, and then like you said, like Swayman has come up on stage with us a few times. That's been really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, we're
That's awesome.
just a lot of people just know, like friends of friends of friends. We have like a lot of weird connections like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. All
Yeah,
right.
even
Well,
Frank-
yeah. So okay. So big show summer in Boston somewhere
Mhm.
that we can't say. Um, and then you guys are writing for a record
Yep.
you were talking about that
Yep.
is going to come out sometime in the next, hopefully not too long.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't have many
Is
details on that besides that we're doing
is
it.
there plans to shop that, or is that like you're just going to independent still,
Um, I don't know.
or you don't know?
That stuff's kind of
Yeah.
over my head. I think there's always the door open to shop, but then there's
Right.
always the
Mm.
we
No
we are
pressure to
doing
do what other
yeah,
people
yeah,
want.
we are doing this
Yeah.
ourselves. It's more of like a I think we'd be interested in talking to people versus like aggressively knocking on doors. It's like,
Right.
if you want to work with us, let's work together,
So it's just really the only way to make
Yeah.
that work.
They just had their first broad thrown at them, so like
Yeah, we're
they don't need to sign
baby
anytime.
steps.
Yeah,
So
working it.
Okay.
Would you mind shouting out or like, talk to us about your endorsements that you're proud of using or working with, or sponsorships, endorsements, whatever you guys have?
yeah, I honestly don't really have any. I mean, we are very brand loyal.
Mhm.
We love Nash guitars. I'm super brand. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I've switched modelers like 20 times, but there are certain things that I'm, I think we are, with Franklin at least, we do use Ernie Ball strings a lot. I think we do have kind of a little sponsorship through them, but it's basically, yeah, we're pretty brand loyal to certain things just on our own that, the sponsorship thing is a little hard to get into now with some of the bigger companies. A lot of them have changed hands. For instance,
Hmm.
like I'm a big Mesa Boogie guy. They were bought by Gibson, so
Right.
the whole sponsorship program is different now. So it's a lot of things like that change. But yeah, no. If anyone wants to talk
Yeah.
sponsors,
Andy, we'll have Dennis on next year, and
Yeah.
he'll have 37 sponsors and all kinds of gear on. His jacket will have a logo on it.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that you guys should have free shit immediately.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that.
At least, at
It'll-
the very least, a Taco Bell sponsorship, right?
We have really good that would probably that's what we need. I mean, we do have really like I don't know if I would call them actual like sponsorships, but we have really good connections with certain companies too. So like we've gotten like Jay's a big G Bender guy. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like a country thing where when you play when you play a guitar, you can have if you pull the guitar down, it actually bends the note versus your like finger doing it. So it's like and it creates a very like pedal steelish kind of bend sound. But he knows a guy that does like Brad Paisley's guitars and all that, and Jay will whenever Jay needs something, he sends it to him, and he kind of does it right away. So like we have things like that. We have a lot of backline companies across the country that we work with that deliver to us, and like good standing relationships. But so I think technically you can call those like sponsorships. But as far as like the guitars we hold and stuff, we love Nash guitars.
Nash guitar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nash, let's go.
Good. All right. Well, that's great. I mean, any other stuff that we didn't
Words of
touch
wisdom.
on, or yes, a
these
motto? What do you got?
Yeah.
A motto? I don't know.
Yeah.
I've really been living with. Well, actually, I did see a quote today that I really liked. Is like someone said like competition is for people at the bottom, and up top we're all collaborating. And I think that's like I literally saw it today, so I'm using it as my motto today. But I think that's huge in the industry. Like a lot of people look at it as a competition, right? And like you can't open for us, or we have to get this show, and like whatever.
That's like the most music true statement.
I mean, I've seen more things have come from just being friends with bands than trying to outdo other bands. So like
there's plenty of space.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I live by. Is like
I love it.
Everyone's cool until they're not cool.
Yep.
The trash takes itself out. I'll say that again for
the
Swifties.
Fucking I love that.
No, that's great. That's a very true thing. When you realize working with other people and like throwing someone a bone every once in a while, or it will get returned if the band is doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Sometimes goodwill is better than cash, right?
Definitely. And it's better, you never know who's going to explode and take off and become, the next whatever guy. And it's going to be like, oh, these are my dudes over here.
These guys helped me out when I was
starting. And you might, totally. You open at X show and it's like, okay, now the whole game's changed.
Feel the same way. Yep.
Awesome. Dan, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dennis.
Great.
Thank you guys. This was
great. Always fun to talk to you.
And hopefully we'll see you in New York.
I hope so. I'm going to do my best to get out there. I'm going to drag Andy. We're going to get some cowboy hats.
Yep.
And we're gonna dress up like Jay, and we're gonna.
You should. You definitely should.
I'm gonna have a Jay shirt, actually.
Yep. Yeah. He wears like football jerseys and stuff.
Yeah. Well, Andy, you could dress up like Jay.
Number 4, because he's last on your list.
That's true.
And his face.
That's true.
I'll wear a blue jacket with a shirt underneath. It's gonna be awesome.
Don't knock it until you try. It's got to be a nice.
I'm gonna try
members only one though.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go do some research and see what kind of jacket you're wearing. Yeah. I'm gonna get it all sweaty.
That's what you got to do.
Andy, what do we got next week?
Next week is
we're going international, right?
Are we? What is next week? Derek, is it?
You know what next week is? Come on,
Derek. I forget.
Come on.
Yes.
I'll say it one more time. It starts with an A. They're from a different country. Andreas.
Oh shit! I thought that was 2 weeks from now. Oh,
no,
my boy Andreas from Cabal, from Denmark, freaking Copenhagen. They rip. They're amazing. I'm really looking forward to speaking with Andreas. I think he's
that should be a pretty wild one.
Yeah.
Cool. Dan, if you don't mind just sticking around for like a few.
Totally.
After, we're gonna do a little outro and then we'll chat. And we'll send them on our way. Thanks everybody for watching. See you next week, hopefully.
Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Please share with everybody.
Yep. Tell your mom.
Tell your mom.
Tell your dad. Tell everybody. We're here.
Sister, brother.